Hi, my name is Hinton Harrison. This is my best friend Pee Wee Boy. We would like to invite you to come along with us on a road trip. We'll meet homeless, activists, artists, and people living alternative lifestyles and in tiny homes. It's all about simplicity. So let's hit the road. You ready to go, Pee Wee?
Sketches of Nothing by a Complete Nobody by Bumdog Torres. Darkness at the break of noon, shadows even the silver spoon. The handmade blade, the child's balloon, eclipses both the sun and moon. To understand and know too soon that there's no sense in trying. So don't fear if you hear a foreign sound to your ear. It's all right, Ma. I'm only sighing.
Hey, yo, Bum Dog!
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing? Hold on, I want to talk to you.
About what? It's just a lifestyle choice, you know?
Yeah.
Everything has ups and downs, you know? You sacrifice something for everything you do. It's just a matter of what you're willing to sacrifice. And for what?
Yeah.
Make yourself familiar with angels and behold them frequently in spirit. For without being seen, they are present with you.
Hey Hinton, I'm so happy to see you. I brought you my book, my first book. It's my life's work during 6 years around the world, raising awareness for human, animal, and nature rights. So I personally selected the best images of my book. So it's an honor to give you a signed copy because I love you. This is my first activism. This is the first one. This is the birth of the love revolution. The first one was in Madrid. I was here amidst thousands of protesters. So this is where everything began. How's that? This is for Catalonia's independence. See, I do many things.
Oh my
This is
God,
for
what's that?
organ
Ooh.
harvesting in China.
Wow,
See,
look at this. Oh,
you
this
don't know
is-
about those things. That's why
Look
I
at-
made the book,
Oh
so
my
you
God.
can know what's about.
Wow, that's intense, girl. You really put yourself out there, don't you?
This is the piece is called A Stone a Day Keeps My Doctors Away. And it's a ceremonial piece. It's been 2 months since I've been out of the hospital. And what I'm doing is coming back to the stone and creating my first sculpture. I'm a sculptor. I'm creating the first one since the strokes. And so I'm doing it to call upon the stones for the strength to heal better and stronger.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's
So-
what you want to do.
No, that's not what I said. This is how I resolved it the first time, and I'm either recreating the essence or recreating the piece. And most often I find it's better to go back and look at the picture, because when I go there to that space to create the piece, I'm there. I find some perfection in the way it flows. So it's a lot faster to go back than to look for perfection twice in your life.
Let's go see what Ed Moody's doing. He lives in his car. He's a great painter. Wow, look who's here. It's Ed Moody. How are you doing, Ed Moody?
Hi, Hinton. I'm doing fine.
What are you doing?
I'm working on a painting.
Oh, yeah? Does it have a name?
This one's called The Great American Train Wreck.
Oh, really?
You want to take a look? What you're looking at is my rendition of something that happened on January the 31st of 2018, this year. The day after the President's State of the Union address, the congressman from the Republican congressman, both senators and representatives, chartered a train to take them from Washington, D.C. to a resort in West Virginia. And on the way to that resort, the train had a tragic accident. It ran into a garbage truck, which had pulled onto a crossing. And there were 4 people on that garbage truck. 3 of them were injured, but one of them was killed. A man named Christopher Foley. This happened in Charlottesville, Virginia, and that's important because only a few months earlier, August the 11th and 12th, there was in Charlottesville what was called a Unite the Right rally. It was a rally that was congregated there because the city of Charlottesville was considering removing a statue of Robert E. Lee, which many people felt was inappropriate. So the Ku Klux Klan, various neo-Nazi, fascist, alt-right, basically white supremacist, people who were considered on the extreme right wing politically, gathered there, and on the 11th at nighttime they had a Nazi-style rally with torchlights. Tiki torches is what they used. Very reminiscent of what happened in World War II with the Nuremberg rallies with Hitler, well, all over Germany actually. The Nazis, the neo-Nazis, that many of whom met at that rally and wanted to network with all their fellow travelers, they had identified this summer and the rally and the things that they were trying to accomplish in America as the summer of the Black Sun. And I've done a painting about that. And there was a man at the rally who was part of the group that the driver that murdered the young lady was part of. And he had a Black Sun symbol on one of his shields. They were all holding shields with fascist symbols. Well, the Black Sun was Heinrich Himmler's choice of a design, a Nazi design, that he put in his Wevelberg Castle on the floor of the room where he met with all of the top SS generals. That's a symbol that's been picked up by the neo-Nazis. But it was significant this summer because the black sun is an emblem of an eclipse, a blacking out of the sun, and that's exactly what happened in Charlottesville, and that's exactly what's happened in all of the events that surround this painting. We're under a black sun. And so I put the two flags which marched together side by side in Charlottesville, the rebel flag and the Nazi flag, which is unimaginable that people would be marching in America with the Nazi flag, since so many of our fathers and grandfathers fought and died in World War II because of the Nazis, who were the central force in the evil of that time. So this is one of a series of paintings dealing with these subject matters. And it's a great train wreck.
Oh, Keith! How's it going? Hey, can you pull over a second? I want to talk to you. Cool. What are you up to right now?
Oh yeah, I'm here to get the sign for David Mitten Silva's memorial to put on the back of the van. It's, you know, pretty much good to go. You just kind of need. Yeah, so David Mitten Silva, when he won a lawsuit against the VA, donated $3,000 of the $4,000 that was necessary to buy this Food Not Bombs van, and we were really struggling with this old beat-up red pickup truck that filled with water. People take stuff out of the back, so this has transformed the whole Food Not Bombs operation here in Santa Cruz. Okay, I'm Keith McHenry, and I'm one of the original 8 people that started Food Not Bombs. And I was a produce worker in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and studying painting and sculpture at Boston University. And I just felt horrible when I take all the produce I was throwing away in the dumpster and knowing people were hungry. So I started taking it to the housing projects near MIT. And one day the people at the projects were mentioning, look at this brand new building they just completed and they're going to design nuclear weapons in there. And I was like, man, that's crazy. There should be spending their money on food and not on bombs. And that's where the name Food Not Bombs came about. So I've been doing Food Not Bombs I've been active as a volunteer with Food Not Bombs, helping start groups, cooking and serving, cleaning pots and pans for a total of 38 years. And it's been an amazing experience. I've not only done it like consistently every day, for instance, for the first 8 years in Boston, while at the same time going to school and running a graphic design business, but I did it when I moved to San Francisco, where I was one of many people arrested over and over again, which changed the course of Food Not Bombs. And I've also helped cook and serve in Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and all over Europe, Latin America, Australia. So I've seen the different dynamics of how people collect the food, cook the food, and share the food. And it's been very, very inspiring. It's while people, Food Not Bombs chapters have stuck to the 3 principles, they've also come up with imaginative ways of interpreting those principles and still staying true to them. And so I've been fortunate to witness that and participate with that for almost 4 decades now. What connects all the Food Not Bombs chapters is 3 principles. The principles are that the food is always vegan, or in the case of breads, possibly vegetarian, and free to anyone without restriction, rich or poor, drunk or sober. The second one is we have no world headquarters or presidents or directors. Each group is autonomous and makes decisions using the consensus process, with the idea of also including the people that need the food from us to participate in the direction of each local organization, each local chapter. And the third is we're not a charity, but that we're dedicated to nonviolent direct action with the idea of changing society so no one has to stand in line at a Food Not Bombs meal to get food or has to find themselves living in the parks or on the streets. Because we know with the military budget being so huge in the United States and in many countries of the world, if that money was diverted towards things like education, healthcare, and other types of human needs, that there really would be, like when Funabom started in 1980, virtually no one living on the streets. And so we're trying to bring about a time where it is like the time when we started Funaboms. There's just no conversation in this country. There's more and more money being wasted. It turns out $21 trillion is unaccounted for in the military budget. And yet we cannot afford to provide universal health care for everybody. We can't afford to provide free education to people. We can't afford to build like colleges to teach trades. We have allegedly full employment, but literally millions of people living on the streets without work. So I think but the message of Food Not Bombs, that's one of the messages, one of the main messages, has become more important today than at any other time. And the problem of homelessness and refugees is now global, and we see it everywhere. But particularly obscene with the largest military budget in the world to allow millions of people to live on the streets is quite outrageous.
So this is sweet alyssum, and it smells really soft and sweet and powdery, like pollen. And then the surprise is this is actually edible. It's a very common plant in the garden, and when you taste it, it's like, that is a big surprise. It tastes nothing like what it smells like. It is from the Brassica family, so it tastes like broccoli or kale or cauliflower. But I think it's awesome to put this into salads and add some beautiful white flowers to your salad and actually add that broccoli taste that is often missing in a salad. California poppy. This one is good for calming, sedative, safe enough for children. Bitter. Make a tea out of it or a tincture. So this is Ceanothus, and it is a wonderful plant that grows here in Big Sur, and it is edible. Some people say that it tastes like soap, and it's awesome because the Native Americans would use this as a soap. You just rub it in your hands and put some water on, and your hands are cleaner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to use flowers for our soap all the time? So this is carnation, and this carnation gave me a whole new impression. Carnations are edible. This is from a garden where we don't use any pesticides or fertilizers, so it's safe to eat this beautiful flower. And you can't smell this, but it smells so incredible. It smells like cardamom. It's exotic. It smells fantastic. I really want to make an ice cream and take this carnation and infuse it in milk and then make ice cream because I think it would taste fantastic. So carnations actually are edible when you don't buy them from a store and they're not dyed strange colors. Nasturtium, spicy, peppery, really wonderful to add to your salad. Both the leaf as well as the flower are edible and add a touch of excitement to your salads. Woo! You want some? I'm looking forward to eating some lotus with you since you said that the lotus are edible, Hinton.
Yeah. Henry David Thoreau, living a life of simplicity, independence, self-reflection, and living deliberately. It was all about simple, simple, simple. It's a simple solution to today's high cost of living. I believe Henry David Thoreau was the inspiration for tiny homes.
So this is a perfect example of repurposing, and this is a 1969 repurposed Airstream that is a perfect demonstration of simplicity and simple living and energy efficiency. I'm going to be fixing a little bit of the trim inside here, and just imagine what we could do if all of us had a higher level of consciousness about conservation, preservation, and living lightly on the planet.
I got two strong hands and a mind of my own. Got a little piece of land and a cozy little home. Enough money to pay my bills and a little extra too. I woke up this morning to a whippoorwill and I got you. I got a cat named Loretta, meow, and a dog named Duke. I never felt any better and I like the way that I look. Got a head full of learning and a heart that is true. Got a soul full of yearning and I got you. I just think about the things I have and not what I ain't got. I think about the things I'll do and not the things I'll not. And when I lay my head to rest at the end of my day, I think of the reason why I'm blessed, and this is what I say. Oh, I'm lucky, it's true. I'm lucky through and through. I'm lucky, 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 lucky you. I got you. I got trees in my backyard so tall they touch the sun. I got heaven full of stars and barrels full of fun. I got Georgia O'Keeffe landscapes. I got an ocean full of blue. Got a skillet full of pancakes and I got you. Well, I'm lucky, it's true. I'm lucky through and through. I'm lucky, 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 lucky you. I got you.
And I'm feeling a light of love. Breathing. Pee-wee, you breathing? Ah, yes. Breathe it in. I like Santa Fe. I love the weather. I love the temperature. It feels really comfortable over here. You know, I like it a lot. Right now, anyway. You know, 'cause June is just incredible as far as I'm concerned. It's not too hot for me. No siree. Adobe architecture. Adobe is a brick made of an earth, straw, and water mixture, formed and sun-dried. Each adobe layer is stacked with a mortar, adobe mixture, and sun-dried. Upon completion, the coating of the same material is applied. The coating is continuously maintained to sustain the impacts of weather and deterioration. This is called an Orno. It's also adobe mud. It is used mostly for baking bread.
Welcome to my tiny home. This is my restroom, saving thousands of gallons of water each year. And now we can come inside the fence. And this is the rest of my bathroom, as I have an outdoor solar shower. It's just a camping bag. Nothing as refreshing as showering outside in a cool breeze. In the winter time, I shower at a friend's house. My solar system is up here. I have a 150 watt solar system, which will get me 3 hours worth of computer time and some lights. I don't have a refrigerator, but I don't need one because I have a Whole Foods plant-based lifestyle, so yes, unnecessary. My water catchment system collects from the roof and comes down here, and it goes into the still tank here, and then I just pour pitchers into my water container. This is my garbage, trash and recycling. I empty these containers once a year. I've become a wise consumer, so I'm really smart about what I bring home. Yes, so that's my trash. And now we can come inside. And here is all 160 square feet of my tiny home. And so my bed/couch. Like I mentioned, I live a Whole Foods lifestyle, so I don't use a refrigerator, and I refill these containers. So therefore I create no trash or minimal trash. Here's what I would normally fill in. And this is my sink, and it actually has a drainage area outside. And then I do have propane, which I use less than 5 gallons of propane a year for my home, because then I also have a wood burning stove that keeps me warm in the winter. So yes, this is my tiny home.
What's up here?
Yeah, this is just my food that I purchase more in bulk, and then yeah, it's all Whole Foods, so no trash. My favorite part. And
Okay.
yeah,
So who is this?
I'm Angie Fernandez.
Housing crisis is a big thing. You know, everybody wants a house, and houses, people think that building, you know, even a tiny home could be $30,000, but that's just ridiculous. You can build a tiny home for $500. Just be smart. You can actually do it for free if you're just smart about where you resource the materials. Just like that kind of inspired my cardboard casita is the fact that cardboard's everywhere, and most places pay to get rid of it. And they make new cardboard boxes to ship things that are going to be thrown away at stores every single day. The amount of cardboard we throw away is ridiculous. IKEA is actually shipping products in mycelium instead of styrofoam now.
You're talking about mushroom.
Yeah, and so you can throw it out in the yard, it breaks down, it's actually good for your yard. So we're definitely seeing an improvement in things, but for the waste that still exists, we have to find something to do with it. And doing something like a cardboard casita not only is the most fun that I've had in a long time, but you know, it's a perfect use of a material that's abundant and considered right now to be a waste, when that's not a waste. We just have to change our perspective.
Tell me what inspired you and where are we going with this?
So this is inspired by years and years of thinking, how can I minimize my imprint? How can I be more self-sufficient? And how can I be comfortable? Because as much as we want to talk about, you know, we've got to make changes in the world, no one's going to make those changes unless they're comfortable changes. And if I can do something like this in a tiny area and have my bathroom needs, my kitchen needs, my shower needs, my sleeping needs, that covers it. I'm comfortable.
And this is a simple solution to a high cost of housing, would you say?
Yeah, camping, housing, because this is going to be waterproof when it's done. I mean, I know it's cardboard and people are like, how do you do that? I've done projects with cardboard before where after it's painted and you layer certain tarps on the bottoms of it, it becomes very, very, very waterproof. So I like the idea of it. It's free material. It's very well insulated.
And this is the early stages of developing this simple living, huh?
Very early stages.
And you're learning as you go?
I am, because I've never done anything like this. I mean, this was my first rung to see if my idea even held water, and it does. And then I started building that, and it works.
Let me see, tilt it up. Yeah.
Here, like that, my mattress. There we go. My little casita.
This was your, what?
My proof of concept.
Yeah. Good for you.
To make sure everything folds and works. You know, it's one thing to think about things. It's another thing to actually build the thing.
Sure. And you went through all the stages of it.
Yep.
And what else you want to tell me?
So this, of course, is, like I said, this is the product of years and years of thoughts of how to be more how to be more self-sufficient, how to minimize your use of water, how to be smarter with your resources, and even how to reuse human waste. You know, you don't just flush it down a toilet. That's gold if you know how to work it right. So these are some simple ideas like the shower. So I've developed systems to take 1 gallon shower, and I mean thorough. I worked on a pig farm. You don't want to go to sleep covered in pig shit. So I would take a shower every day and it'd be less than 1 gallon of water. And some of that's using some of my systems here. A wet bucket for urine that also keeps the smell out. And it's as simple as a funnel and a little you know, just like a regular toilet works. But without the flush is actually you pouring your hand washing water down the drain. And then the sink. So here's a foot pump sink design with so this is your clean water. That's a foot pump, and it pumps it up here into a dirty bucket. But again, this is a hodgepodge of a bunch of ideas that I've had. So that's just going to be a bowl. It's just going to be an elevated bowl, and this is going to be the spigot. This is also what I use as my shower. And when you're done washing your hands after you use the restroom, you pour that bowl into your toilet sink or your toilet, and that flushes it. It also dilutes it because you always want a 5-to-1 ratio of pee, or better, you want 10 parts water, 1 part pee if you can. So that way you can directly throw it into plants and somewhere far away. But yeah, always keep your wet bucket and your dry bucket separate. That helps the poo break down a little bit better. And frankly, humanuring is not that stinky if you know how to do it. But be smart about it. Do your research.
When are these going to be on the market?
Whenever you take one home.
Well, could you tell me your name?
Yeah, my name is Carly.
And Carly, how long have you been living in a teepee?
I've been in a teepee for 1.5 years, and I really love it in the teepee. It's so special.
And where are we right now?
We're in Taos, New Mexico.
And what kind of teepee is this?
This is a Nomadics brand teepee. It's a 20-foot teepee. It's all made out of organic cotton, canvas, 15-ounce, sun forager, and then I had it up at the neighbors, and so I moved it, and as I was taking it down, I took the opportunity to put UV protectant on it, which took a lot of painting, but with the strong sun out here in Taos, it's going to hold the seams together for a lot longer and gives it the durability, but it smelled like stain for a while in here.
Did you paint it?
I did. I painted the mural around the bottom, which is the mountains and the sunset, and the sage kind of blends in with the atmosphere.
Well, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then I lived in Portland, Oregon for the last 7 years, and I kind of knew when I was moving to Taos that I wanted to live in a teepee. It's been a lifelong dream to live in a teepee and to live more simply and in harmony with my surroundings. So on my way from Oregon, I stopped at Nomadics Teepee in Bend and picked up the teepee and hauled it over in my car. When I got to Taos, I was very fortunate that I found someone who had the teepee poles that they were willing to sell to me. So it all came together. My dream of being in a teepee.
So what do you do for food? Are you simple?
Very simple. I have a little propane stove that I use, and I also have the kettle on the fire and a cast iron pot and pan for cooking soup on the fire. But for the most part, it's fruit, raw veggies, greens, just things that I can eat without doing a lot of cooking. And right now I'm actually fasting, so I have very minimal dietary concerns at the moment.
What about water?
I get my water from in town. I'm grateful that I work at a place that has high pH water, so I refill every time I go to work. I bring in all my jugs and refill all my water and then haul it back.
And what's your dog's name?
Her name's Nico. She's a Siberian Husky. She loves the teepee.
I'll bet she does. Well, this is obviously simple living.
Yes.
And you are off the grid. I mean, it's being very minimalist, right?
Absolutely, and I feel like that's the whole point, is that, you know, our society is so consumer driven, and so many people that are living in boxes and paying hideous amounts of money in rent, and it's just, what's the point? This is a circular structure. It's so simple, and the energy flows really well. I'm able to save up money to pay off my student loans by living in the teepee and not pay rent. I don't have an overbearing landlord. I don't have to be part of the hustle and bustle of living in a square home. It makes sense. I wish that more people were living simply and in harmony with nature, and just minimizing their footprints, you know. Part of the reason why I live in a teepee is to be courageous and just to be to do the hard work that I know needs to be done, and to kind of get my soul into a space of being accepting of whatever happens. So even in the tough windstorm and everything around me is rattling, you know, you have to find that center of calm in order to feel safe.
To be grounded. So tell me, you do healing work.
I do, yes. I have studied for the last 8 years in Chinese medicine and body work and herbs. I'm also doing shamanic healing work and some native hands-on healing, as well as Reiki and some nutrition. I love it all. So being in the teepee has been also really healing for me in my personal journey of getting into deeper realms within how I can really bring about healing into the planet, into the world, and into my own shifting.
Hey, what are you doing? You're eating strawberries.
And chocolate. And Lulu's
Lulu's
chocolate.
chocolate on strawberries. Smart girl. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yum, yum. Can I have a bite? Yum,
Yum, yum, you're gonna have to do another one.
Come on, it burns. What, you don't mind burning it, Linda?
Cheers.
S'mores to you, sweetheart. We're doing some s'mores. Wow. This is for you, Angie. It's a present. Lulu's
Oh,
chocolate.
thank you.
No, you're welcome. Lulu's chocolate. Cacao raw.
I got two strong hands and a mind of my own. Got a little piece of land and a cozy little home. Enough money to pay my bills, got a little extra too. I woke up this morning to a whippoorwill and I got you. I got a cat named Loretta.
Meow.
Got a dog named Duke.
Bow wow.
I never felt any better and I like the way that I look. Got a head full of learning and a heart that